All right, welcome back. We are diving straight into our very next discussion. We are still staying with the concerns surrounding the subsidy removal. Yes, you can see that it's beginning to be a subject of conversation for the next election. It's like a campaign tool. So we're asking this morning, will it dominate the 2027 debate? A big question we're asking. We're hoping that we'll get answers from our guest this morning. Joining us right about now is Oluwatosin Oladeton, who is a policy and financial analyst. He joins us right here in the studio. So good to have you on the show, Tosin.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. And on the other side is Bamidele Ayemibo. He's an economist and is a trade investment expert. He joins us virtually. So good to have you on the show, Bamidele. Good morning.
Thank you very much for having me. Good morning.
Yeah, I mean, this subsidy talk is not going anywhere anytime soon because I'm sure that's on the lips of many Nigerians right about now. Primarily because a candidate had come to say, I would reverse the policy when I become Mr. President. Speak to us, Bamidele Ayemibo. I'll start off with your perspective of how well the policy had helped Nigeria grow or otherwise.
Or the people.
Or the people.
Not big numbers.
There are different arguments for and against subsidy. It all depends on the way you look at it. And the side of the value you see it depends also on your own persuasion as far as ideology in economic growth is concerned. So it's not been well implemented, and even the APC, we agreed to the fact that it has not been well implemented, even though it was well intended, but it was not well implemented because of the impact on the people, no doubt about that. But the savings from it also has been of concern to people. The fact that the savings were supposed to be used. I remember then when Jonathan wanted to remove it also, they also came up with a plan that the money was going to be used to do A, B, C, D, E, which APC vehemently opposed. But you know what's interesting? Politics is interesting because some of the APC people actually acknowledged the fact that they knew that what Jonathan wanted to do at that time was the best. But of course, it's politics, so they have to oppose it because they want him out of government, that kind of stuff. So now they've done it, but also they've not done it the way it's supposed to be done because ordinarily there should be palliative. And in many societies, actually, if you don't really consider the poor in whatever it is you are doing, you are not going to be able to be a popular politician because at the end of the day, you are going to be inflicting pain on the people. My opinion on subsidy is this. Every country subsidizes. And the reason is obvious. There are ways, there are a part of the economy that that, look, if this economy is going to grow, the people in that sector must be supported. So people subsidize agriculture, they subsidize fuel, they subsidize energy, they subsidize even in Europe, in America. So subsidy is something many countries will do, only that they do it in different ways, sometimes not so that they don't create, go against the agreement they already have with WTO. In Nigeria case, what makes it sad for me is, some people believe subsidy is a scam. Some people believe that it's just a way that some people have been enriched. The question we should ask ourselves is, if fuel is supposed to be a particular price, and then government says it's paying a particular amount, and then we are hearing that money is going to some pocket, why is it that the people affected, the people that are corporate, we are not going after them to stop them from doing what they are doing and punishing Nigerians for what some powerful people are doing to the country? Those are the questions I think are begging for answers, actually. Because at the end of the day, removing it, if you put palliative enough for the people to cushion the effect, make a lot of sense. Not removing it, a lot of money that will be used for development is also being taken. So, like as I said, that it's either enough for or against. If you're implementing it right. If you're not implementing, then ensure the money is going into the people that need it. And that would be my opinion.
Let's come to you now. Let's get your thoughts regarding what Atiku wants to do with it. I mean, he's made a proposition essentially, which is the entire idea of democracy. One candidate comes and puts a proposal forward, or puts a policy proposal, if you like, forward. Now, he said he's going to, run a phased removal, if you like, based on a particular model. I don't know if you've heard what he has to say or what he has proposed. I want to know exactly what your thoughts are with regards to its feasibility or its viability going forward, and how much it will benefit Nigerians.
Just in addition, I think he said he's going to subsidize production. That is, he will give crude to local refiners at subsidized rate, so that they will in turn sell petrol and other refined products to Nigerians at lower prices.
So the devil is in the details.
Okay.
We are still waiting to see his manifestos, to see the plan. It's something to just have hearsay. We see that his media aide and his analysts, those in his cabinet, are trying to defend that he's not returning the old subsidy. For you to return the old subsidy, that means we have to repeal the Petroleum Industry Act of 2023, which is going to take another system. It also implies that we are still incentivizing importation. We all know what happened when Dangote came to play in the field, and so that they were having so many refineries outside. Now, the same Dangote has made a lot of investment within the Nigerian space, a 650,000 barrels per day capacity in Nigeria, and expanding to 700 barrels per day. In fact, Dangote wants to even accumulate everything and produce at 1.4 million barrels per day. But first, let's look at it. We're still finding it very difficult to even understand what is the actual production capacity of Nigeria. It's saying between 1.5 million barrels per day to 1.7 million barrels per day. OPEC quota should be doing around 2 million to 3 million per day. Now, all the crude oil Nigeria currently has been pledged as forwards. In fact, some of them have been pledged as debts. In fact, some of them are still even used as debt security expenses, which means that as we speak, we do not have any crude oil. So where is the subsidy going to come from? Now, when it comes to the implementation of subsidy, is something that we cannot get right at this point in time, given the current situation that we are in. Now, there is no way subsidy is not done on the world. You might think there is only petroleum that is being subsidized. Our electricity is still being subsidized. But even despite the fact...
It's being said to be subsidized. It's being said, because I don't feel any subsidy.
Are you doubting the government?
It's being said. No, I'm just going to correct you on that. That's how I feel. You can continue.
Okay, so let's even say that the Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy said like about 15.8 trillion that the government would have allocated to the budget has been spent, has been shared across the FAC. Yeah, we saw that the federal government had 5.4 trillion. We also saw that the state and the local government have 10.4 trillion, which means that over 60% is going to the sub-regionals, and everybody's asking what is the government going to do. But still yet, when we review the financial statement of NNPCL as of 2024, we have energy security expenses of about 8.16 trillion. We also have on the recovery of subsidy, on the recovery of the, because the fact that NNPC was meant to,
for subsidy,
which is, well, another people saying about,
yes.
Which means that this is expenses due to the federal government. How is the federal government going to be able to address that? Also, when we saw that, everybody was saying that Dangote is going to make everything even for all. But by the time Dangote came, Dangote had different sides of the table. At one point in time, he was crying to the government to increase his allocation of the crude oil. And at another point in time, he was saying that he actually took loan to be able to do this business. So what exactly is the pain point of average Nigerians? Before we even get to the subsidy, as the case may be, an average man on the street, the poor masses, over 70 million people, or 70.3% of the total Nigerian population, are not even feeling the impact of the subsidy. How many of them have cars to put on the road? How many of them have trucks to drive? So it is even the rich that is going to benefit from the subsidy regime, because an average man that is working on the street cannot even fuel his car. His minimum wage is like about 70,000.
I'm going to stop you there, Tosi, because that is not what, because that was the argument that was put forward before when we wanted to remove subsidy, that it is
only the rich is benefiting. But now the poor people are suffering.
Because the poor people are suffering right now because of the removal of the subsidy. The man that goes to the station to buy a petrol, 4 liters to power a generator, is suffering today because he can't afford to buy that anymore.
And food inflation.
The impact of the removal is what the poor man is. Look, the rich man is not even concerned. If petrol is being sold for 2,000 naira per liter,
they can
the rich man will still buy it. At least maybe have a reduced quantity that he buys, but he will still buy it. But I tell you, at the rate it's going, very few Nigerians can afford to buy petrol as I speak right now. Very few. The one that could just take 500 naira to the station and buy 4 liters to power his past my neighbor cannot afford that anymore.
So when we are looking at those below the poverty line, those living between $1 to $2 per day, they do not even buy this petrol. Now we are not saying that what is going to impact.
But they suffer the consequences of high prices of petrol.
Of the high prices. Yes, I'm still coming to that. And the major thing that is going to affect them is the food, clothing, and shelter.
Yes.
Now, when we look at the impact of logistics when it comes to food, as compared to the productivity of our farms, we can see that the productivity of our farms is more significant than the impact of logistics. I'm not saying that the logistics impact is not there, because you have to move these foods from Lagos, from Sokoto or Kano, when they are being produced in the northern hemisphere, down to the south. Our rail system is not functional. To be able to transport this food in the large numbers, we have to use this thing through trucks. Most of them, about 40 to 60%, get damaged on the roads before they even get to the final consumer, even when we are getting to eat there. But the farmers themselves that are meant to even provide this food for us to eat are not able to go to the farm because they are having insecurity issues. We see that the vandals, we see the Boko Haram, we see the unknown gunmen, we see the militant vandalizing their farms. How will people be even able to get to the farms to be able to produce and ensure that food is cheap across Nigeria?
Right.
Now, let's look at the eco-food or the several schemes that the government has designed.
Just
it is not even affordable for even the poor people to be able to eat.
Hold on.